All right, hello everybody. Hope you're being safe and healthy so far through the self-quarantine. What we're going to get into today in our first virtual video lecture for class here is a review of writing linear equations. So if you remember, before we were off school, we started in quickly on a section of parallel and perpendicular lines, and so we're going to review a few concepts needed for that section. I would highly recommend, as I've sent out an email, just take notes right along with me in your notebook, just like we would in class. I want to keep this as familiar and as simple to follow as humanly possible. So hopefully this will be a good review of things we've done. There will be a short assignment that I send out through email that relates to this that will be a third quarter grade, and that'll be the last one. Again, I do hope that we're able to get back to school for a couple weeks. We miss seeing you there, but hopefully this will be as natural a transition as possible compared to what we're used to. So what I would recommend is, as we go through these, pause the video, take notes. There's going to be some equation forms behind me that I'm going to have you write down. So pause them, get them in your notes. Also, when we do the examples, see if you can try them on your own, if you remember them, and then see if you get to the same work that I do at the very end. So the first thing to jot down, there's no real work on this board here, but these are all of the linear equation forms and information that we need to write them. So we may need the slope formula. When I calculate the slope between 2 points, remember it's a simple value. I need 2 points. I subtract the y-coordinates divided by the subtraction of the x-coordinates. Slope-intercept is how we will generally express our final answer. Point-slope form, remember, is kind of that intermediate step that we need quite a bit in order to go from given a point and a slope of the line in order to get to slope-intercept form eventually. So the next board we're going to see where these are all used, and again, hopefully this is a good quick review of things we've already done. Not the same whiteboard space as in 405. But anyway, here are the two examples that we're going to quickly go over here that relate to the forms on the other board. Remember, when we're writing the equation of a line, I always like to emphasize I need two pieces of information no matter what. I always need the slope of a line, and I need a point on the line. Once I have that information, we can somehow use one of our forms. This is always the easiest example because we are given the information in slope-intercept form. We're given the slope, we're given the y-intercept. This is always the easiest equation to write because it's always just one line. Most commonly remembered thing in all of math, y equals mx plus b. Fill in our slope of 2 and our y-intercept of -6. It is that simple. Anytime that we're given a slope and a y-intercept, that is all we have to do in order to write that equation. So again, hopefully a good quick review there. The second one, this one a little bit more work involved. There's going to be that intermediate step that I alluded to earlier. We're given the slope and we're given a point on the line that is not the y-intercept. However, we still do have the two pieces of information we always have to have for these problems. We just have to use a different form to get there to our final answer. We're going to start off with point-slope form because that is the information we're given here. I know the slope, and then I'm going to label this as my x1 and y1 coordinate of a known point. So I'm going to replace everything in point-slope form with that information. On the left side, most common mistake here with the equation portion of it, we have a minus in the formula and a minus with the coordinate. So remember, that has to become a minus -3, which will make a plus on the next line. On the right side, we fill in our m, our slope is -1/2. And then the x-coordinate is x minus 8. So there's line 1. Now I guess I didn't specify in the direction which equation to write, but if I were to tell you to write the slope-intercept form equation, this just requires two more quick equation solving steps. We can do the rewrite of minus a negative. The next thing I would want to do is clear all parentheses, so multiply and distribute a -1/2 into the parentheses. Just be careful with signs, multiplying by fractions. -1/2 times x and then -1/2 times -8 is plus 4. Finally, just subtract 3 from both sides, and we have our slope-intercept form equation. We have y equals -1/2x, 4 minus 3 is plus 1. Okay. So again, quick review there of how do we write equations of lines using slope-intercept form and point-slope form.